Hi, this is indicator 7, which deals with algebraic expressions. I was just trying that out right quick. Dealing with algebraic expressions. And our learning target is I can write algebraic expressions when given a phrase. So we're going to have a word phrase and then turn that into an algebraic expression. So that's what we're going to do in this lesson. But first, let's go through some definitions. Trying to get this off. Okay, so first, variable. A variable is a letter that represents a number. A letter that represents a number. And it can be any letter, it doesn't matter. Now I left this off of here, but let's add another definition right in here called expression. An expression is a mathematical statement that doesn't have an equal sign. So if it doesn't have an equal sign, it's an expression. If it has an equal sign, that one's down here, that's an equation. So it's a mathematical sentence with an equal sign. So has an equal sign, just for simplification. All right, so algebraic expressions. What are algebraic expressions? It's simply an expression with variables and numbers. Well, let me do this. Variables, numbers, and operations. So an example would be a plus 5. You see, we have a letter, we have a variable there, our a, which could represent any number. It doesn't have any value until we assign it a value. Our operation is addition, and then we have a number there too. Numeric expressions contain only numbers and operations. That's what numeric means. So for an example, we would have 3 plus 5. So we have our two numbers, our 3 and our 5, and then our operation of addition. Now the operations we're going to use in this particular lesson are addition, subtraction, of course, multiplication and division. Move that up a little bit. Multiplication and division. Okay. Now, when we do addition, our answer is, we always call that a sum. Okay. Subtraction, that answer that we get when we do subtraction, difference. It's called the difference. And for multiplication, take a moment to think about it, it's product. For division, our answer is, sorry about that, I'm resuming, and division would be quotient. Okay, so now let's think of some terms that could mean other words we would see in places that would mean addition. So we already said sum. If we see a phrase with added to, we know that means that we need to do the operation of addition. Plus, of course, more than. We're going to talk about that than later. Increase by. Increase by. Let's see. Total. That's a good one, right? So if I say the total amount of money that all the kids in class have, you would have to add it up. So that lets us know addition, combined, both. That could let us know to add something. In all. So they had this much in all. You would have to add to get that. Now let's look at subtraction. There are some other terms that we'll see in word phrases that would mean subtraction. So of course we know difference. So if we ask for the difference between two numbers we need to subtract it from. Oh, take away. That one. I'm writing it on my paper so I won't forget. Take away minus. That one's an easy one, right? Decreased by. Decrease would let me know I need to subtract because I'm going to have less than I started out with before. Fewer than. And we're going to talk about that then. We might ask you the amount that remains, so you have to subtract. Or we might say, how many do they have left? How many cookies do they have left after lunch? Okay. And yeah, we did take away. So there are other terms that could play into that, but those are some of the main ones that you'll see. Let's look at multiplication. So we already know product. We already discussed that. Multiplied by times. Now here's some that you might not realize. I say twice. Twice is two times. Two times a number. I'm going to use the pound sign for number if you don't mind, just for space. So if I say twice, if someone has twice the amount of something that another person has, you'll have to multiply it by two. By the same token, double. A double, that's two times a number. And again, I'm using the hashtag for that also means number in my generation. Um, let's look at some more that you might not think about as multiplication. Thrice. That means, what do you think? Because if twice means two times, thrice means three times a number. Move that over a little bit, yeah. And then triple. Three times a number. So if I say triple x, we would say three times x. And quadruple, you'll see that sometimes. What do you think that means? Quad, four. So four times a number. I'll spell it out now. I got a little bit. And then division finally. Let's do division. So we said quotient already. Divided by. Of course, that would let us know to divide. If we say each, we may have to divide something, or how many in each. Cut up, that's division, like you cut up something into pieces, or separate, those would mean division. So those are some of the terms that we would use. Let's look at a few examples. So let's look at this one. We have 34. These are numeric expressions. So the instructions say write the phrases as numeric or algebraic expressions. Do not evaluate the numeric expression. So we don't need to know what the totals or sums or differences are. We don't need, or the products, and we don't need to know. Okay? So 34. Here's my first number here, 34. And then this divided by tells me, let me use this pen. That divided by tells me the operation. So we're going to do division and then divide it by 2. So let me try to write this with my mouse. 34 divided by 2. Or that's an or. Or we can say 34. Let me use this one. I don't like that one. Let me use a different marker. So we can say 34 divided by 2, or we can say, This might surprise you. 34 over 2. Fractions are division. Did y'all know that? So that we can do 34 divided by 2. Now let's look at this one. 35. So there's my number. Increase by. So what operation do you think that is? Yeah, it's addition. Increase by 4. So let me try to write again. I'm trying to write with my mouse. 35 increase by is plus 4. The product, what's product? Let's go back up here. Multiplication. So that's why we wrote those lists. The product of what? 30 and 9. So I'm going to multiply 30 and 9 together. And there's a few ways I can write that. Now we're getting away from this way because we're going to use x as a variable. But this still means multiplication. That's 30 times 9. That's supposed to be a multiplication sign. Or that's a comma. As we get into higher grades, we're going to use the dot for multiplication. So a dot. Or we can use parentheses for multiplication. 30 times 9. So all three of those mean multiplication, and all three of them are correct. Now, this next one has fewer than. 8 fewer than. Anytime you see the word than, put yourself a few lines on there so you can remember when you see than, reverse. Than tells us to reverse the numbers. Always triple underline the word than to remind yourself to reverse. So this is 8 fewer than 27. Fewer than is subtraction. So it's not going to be 8 minus 27. It's going to be, that goes first, 27 minus 8. 27 minus 8. And again, we will not be evaluating these numeric expressions. Let's see. A number y minus 7. Let me just use the text box on this one. So a number y, what is y? We don't know, it's just y. So y minus, we know that's subtraction, 7. And that's how we would write it. Now this one, I'm going to go back to my drawing tool again. 14, no, the quotient of 3 and a number z. So that would be 3 divided by z. Okay, because that's what quotient means. Quotient means divide. I'm struggling. Divided by z. That's a z. Or, like we did before, we could do 3 over z. That also means 3 divided by z. Now, for this last one, we got that than again. See that? So 14 more than a number x. And than means what? Reverse. So the x is going to go first. More than, that tells me I need to add than 14. So x plus 14. So that is 14 more than a number x. Than means reverse. Okay, so I hope that helps. Go ahead and fill out your notes. Keep them in your notebook. And as before, you know, you can use them on tests and all of that good stuff. All right, have a good day.